Alright, 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 alright. Okay, welcome back, guys. Welcome. If you join us live, wherever you join us from, it's about a time where we just go through the market, see what's going on, and see what we can pick out from it. Alright. So currently, I would explain our strategy for today. Okay, so we'll kick off by looking at the dollar index, just to get an idea of what the dollar is doing all across the market. All right. And if you have any currency pair whatsoever you would want us to specifically look out, please use the chat section to drop your suggestions. Okay, all right. So pretty much was already in the markets and trying to see what's going on in around there, and there are a couple of stuff that I saw. All right. You can see some colorful stuff already on the chat. This was our entry yesterday. For the guys that managed to jump on the live streaming yesterday, that was our setup for yesterday. And for today, we will be doing similar stuff, just the way we look at our setup, and of course we will be going through that route. Welcome. Drop your picks and what you want us to add into our research, like, follow for more. All right. Alright, so there are two things we can actually look out for right here. Alright, and the number one thing will be, I like what we did here. Of course, our ultimate TP, this price might be looking out for, will be this high here. Let me draw a line there. Okay, I wouldn't call it ultimate, but that's the next liquidity grab that I can see. All right. But another thing I want to point out is we had a very nice slight accumulation that occurred here. Pretty much was a soft sideways move. All right about there. But at the end, entirely, what I would have wanted is for price to manipulate upward, because my bias would have been for price to fill up this liquidity before making any move. That's my speculation on that guy, pretty much. Okay. But as it looks like right about there, price is doing the opposite, so we respect that. We will, of course, respect what price wants to do. You don't want to find yourself fighting against price. very important that you don't fight against price, or rather don't fight against the trend. The trend is there to help you, so stick with it. Stick with it. All right. Alright, so here on the BTC price coming into today, this is the Q1 for today. Let me point it out for you. Alright, so you'll be hearing me mention Q1, Q this, Q that. Or actually, I'm a fan of the quarter cycle theory. For the guys that have been joining my live stream, you should know that about now, but if you don't know, now you know. Alright, so the blue guy you see there, the blue rectangular shaded box you see there, is the Q1 for the day. Let me explain the colors we're using the previous day. Alright, so this is the previous day, this is for yesterday's price. Alright, so the blue box you see here on the 5-minute time frame is the Q1. We call it the quarter one, Q1 for the day. Alright, of course, this guy, which is the gray box there, I hope you guys can see that, is actually the Q2. Alright, and of course, you know, the rest, the green one is the Q3, and of course the red one is the Q4. Alright, I'm explaining this so that whenever I say Q1, Q2, Q3, or Q4, you have an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, so we'll look at price on a time factored approach, if I would put it that way. Okay, remember, like I told you, if you have any price or anything at all you would want us to look at, please feel free to use the chat section and drop the currency pair you want us to look at. All right, so back on the chart again. So whenever you see the blue guy, that's the Q1, the gray guy Q2, green guy Q3, and of course the red guy is the Q4. And for the guys that have an idea of what or how to trade quarter cycle theory, one thing would point out for sure is it's basically looking at price using the time factored approach. I've already said that, and the good thing about it is you can actually break it further down. All right, so if you look at inside of each of those boxes, you can see they are also broken down into smaller quarters. Okay, so what do I mean? I'll show you. I'll just remove these guys. Remember, I'm still using the previous day price to explain to you guys what we do, and of course give you more context of whatever you're looking at. at your screen. It's extremely important you understand that. But before I continue, if you join us live, please make sure you like the video and share with your friends and people you believe will benefit from what we do here. All right, so back to the chart. All right, so this indicator you're looking at here, I built it leveraging AI. All right, so yeah, these smaller guys here are also quarters. So remember, in the Q1 of the day, we now broke the Q1 into quarters again. So that's why I'm still pointing them out. All right, so inside of it, I'm just explaining the indicator we're using here, which I told you already. I built it myself using the quarter cycle theory. All right, so here is the Q1 of the Q1, here is the Q2 of the Q1, here is the Q3 of the Q1, and here is the Q4 of the Q1. I don't know if that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, forget about it. If you don't understand it, I don't know how else I'm going to explain that to you. I started off by explaining the quarters of the day. I told you the blue one is the Q1 of the day, the gray one Q2 of the day, green one Q3, red one is Q4. And I went further to tell you that now we've broken the whole day into 4 parts. You can now break each of those quarters that you got from breaking the day into 4. You can also break them into smaller quarters, which is what I just explained to you guys now. All right, so if you understand that, I believe you have an idea of the indicator you're looking at, and that will lead us to the next item, which will be how do we trade with it? That's the $1 million question. Well, there are so many ways you can. There are so many ways you can kill a bird. You can go with a stone. You can use a gun. You can use an AK-47. You can even use a bazooka. That is if you want to get the bird in pieces. But that's bad way. But I want you to get the point. And the point basically is using quarter cycle. So many people can use it for so many things. I, for one, I use it for timing. I use it for executing, and I also use it for exiting. All right, so there are some theories around quarter cycle. I recommend you do your research around it, but I'm just going to give you a clue just to help us here. And the clue is when there's an accumulation. And please, this is not only for quarter cycle. This is general market technical analysis. Okay. Usually, when there is an accumulation, there is a manipulation. Then, of course, there is a distribution to fill it up. All right. So these are the very simple but very, very important rule. Okay. Accumulation first, then after a distribution comes in, right? And yeah, so how do we know an accumulation? That's the next question. Accumulators are usually sideways movements where price is not pretty much trending up or trending down. I also can calibrate an accumulator as a quarter that is quite squeezed compared to the previous quarter that came after it. All right, this is all right. I think I lost my internet for a minute there. I'm fixing that back up. Hopefully we'll be fully back online. Okay. I don't know where I stopped, so my internet went off, and I'm trying to resolve some of these. I think we're back online. All right. I want to take our time to apologize uh, for the initial cut off. My internet, I had technical issues. Okay. So back to the matter. I was trying to explain a couple of things here. won't come by. All right. As I was explaining myself, I was explaining to you guys. All right. Here, before the internet cut me off, I was trying to explain when a quarter is accumulating compared to the others. Okay, so how do you spot the accumulation? All right, so I explained that I said accumulation usually occurs when there is a sideways movement on price. All right, price ain't going up, neither is it going down. It's just some quiet sideways movement where price might be trading in a sideways parallel channel for a period of time. And I went ahead to explain that usually after an accumulation, what price does, price tries to fill up those accumulated accumulation. All right, in a situation whereby price succeeds to manipulate and distribute and completely close, then we can categorize such move as a unicorn. All right, or some call it the Judas swing for the ICT guys. You can call it a unicorn or a Judas swing. Just like what I'm waiting for here on DXY is a Judas swing, or you can call it a unicorn. But largely, why I'm a bit skeptical about that move, if I'm being quite honest with you guys, will be because of the fact that the Q1 of the day on DXY, if you look at the explanation I gave you, remember what I told you about accumulation. Accumulation usually occurs when there is a squeeze or a sideways movement in price. And if I should compare Q1 of today with the Q4 of yesterday, you can arguably say that the Q1 of today accumulated in respect to the Q4, because of course you can see that the Q1 of the day is more of a squeezed move compared to the 4. And of course, if you're not comparing it to others, you'll see that pretty much you don't have much left. So here is the Q3 of yesterday, and of course the Q1 is lying there. And of course, now that we see price kind of like give us a very nice accumulation in the Q1 of the Q2 of the day. All right, so this is the Q1 of the Q2 of the day. That's the guy that is shaded. I don't know if I'll call this orange or gold or whatever, but you get the point. Just in case you don't get the point, I guess you have to forget about it. Please don't forget about anything. Feel free to ask questions, and we accept comments or anything at all. Let's head straight back to it. Of course, now we saw a very nice We're on the DXY. The DXY, of course, is the dollar index. Okay. I don't like the way this guy is going. And the reason why is none other than the fact that if we saw this manipulation occur on the upward move, would have been very nice. I ain't gonna lie. Would have been a very nice move for us. Let me have a look at what's going on in other places. This would have been a very crazy one at night. Very crazy one. So for a perfect setup based on what I've been explaining to you guys about the whole accumulation manipulation thing, if I should bring that into equation here, you will see we have two conflicting moves here, and whenever I spot conflicting moves like this, I take a chill pill. All right, I'll wait for price to show me more of what it wants to do, and of course I'll follow suit on that. Okay, more of what price wants to do, then we'll follow suit. I don't want to end up catching a falling knife, and most times when it comes to this, I take my time. Whenever it comes to this, I really do take my time. There is no need to rush. Aha. Bro, yeah. Look at this guy here. This is on gold. I think I saw this move. What? I was a bit skeptical about it, so damn. That was a very nice unicorn move, and that's exactly what I want to see also on DXY. This is an example of what we are waiting for on DXY. You see that unicorn move, manipulate up, very nice unicorn. Have your entry around there, and of course you'll be aiming for the liquidity line at the blue there. Of course, if you did enter this, the least 1-to-1 will be on the plate by now. Of course, the aim is to get it all the way for a 2-to-1, but just because of I don't know, for some reason I just messed up. I should have been on that train. All right, but let's see if this guy is going to give us a similar move on that. But this is on DXY. That other guy was gold. All right, but yeah, that wasn't part of my A setup, so I can comfortably leave that one. Ooh, I like this stretch down and they pull back up, but didn't grab the liquidity I wanted. It would have been nice if they grabbed. Ooh, look at this guy. Okay. This is a very nice move, but I didn't grab this in time, so I'm leaving that one. One thing is that you're not going to capture everything in the market. I'm just patiently looking out for a much more star aligned setup for me. This is again similar stuff. I'm trying to see if DXY will give us very nice judo swing there, then an upward move. But my issue with most of these moves are, if you look at the bigger quarter, the Q1 of the day, usually they are a little bit squeezed. So whenever I see price trading outside of it, I kind of, in my head see it as manipulation. So that's why I'm playing it very cautious. All right, I'm playing it very cautious, being very careful because the market will deal with you. Trust me, the market wants to deal with a lot of people. If you misbehave, though, you'll be dealt with. So I'm still waiting for my type of setup. I like what British pound is doing, but nothing extra. Whatever Euro USD or British pound USD is going to do is heavily dependent on what DXY is doing. So I'm very careful and cautious of that. Very careful and cautious of that. So as a matter of fact, if I see a unicorn setup here on DXY, I will not jump on it, and I have my reasons. To be honest, it might end up being a missed entry, or price might end up expanding well upwards. But the only reason why I would not want to take it is there is a conflicting sideways movement on the bigger quarter. If I'm picking my context from the Q1 of the day, so yeah, that's the only reason why I would be a little bit skeptical about about jumping on it, but generally, I honestly think the liquidity grab we are looking for is that guy at the top, and there is high chances that price will go there. And yeah, um, like I said, I still want to take my time. Well, the only thing is, it's going to favor these guys. Anybody that is on a gold trade, I think there is much more for them to gain right now, considering what DXY is doing, which is the dollar index. And I've pretty much scanned through all the currency pairs I have here. All right, so let's see if we're going to get a complete unicorn setup here. And in the quest of having that unicorn setup, I'm not seeing any fair value gap or whatever being created in the upward move. That's another thing to be wary of. So for me, I will not jump on it, even if it means price will, even if price will end up expanding well enough. But I rather take a chill pill and wait for a complete setup. Again, if you're joining us, remember to like the video, share it with your friends and people you think will benefit from the content we make here. Alright, so this is the point where we might have to fold our arms. I don't know if you guys have any currency pairs you want us to look out for, and of course we can have a conversation around it and plan around it. Well, just to give you guys a plan for today and what I see, based on what I see, one would be we need DXY to, I don't know, magically reverse this whole up move and fill up these two accumulators that I see here, most especially that of the Q1. All right, until I see that move saturated, I will not make any decision outside of that. That is one. In a situation whereby that doesn't happen, we'll have another section in the afternoon. This is the London section. Of course, we still have the New York section, and for the guys that are doing ICT, for us that is trading on the quarter cycle or on the quarter side of life, I would say I'll see you guys in the Q3 of the day. We are currently on the Q2. We are waiting patiently to see if the Q2 would give us the kind of setup we want. But so far, we've not been able to get a good setup. And in a situation whereby that's the case, there is no need to force things. There is no need to, FOMO into things. We just have to be calm, calculated, and of course, wait patiently. And of course, while waiting, we can now come up with some dubious speculation of, pulling out trend lines and trying to make meaning of what price is trying to do. And at the same time, keeping an open mind, because it's extremely important to have an open mind. Because price doesn't like people that are very, very, I don't know if I'll use the word myopic or narrow-minded. All right, you just have to keep an open mind. So even if I get a complete unicorn move there, I'm not going to make any move. I'm just going to be calm. And of course, if price decides to expand and continue trading up, I'll count it as a not a loss. I'll count it as a missed entry. or a mixed opportunity. Of course, there is another opportunity out there. All right, so price, as you can see, just filled up our accumulator. Of course, I'm going to bring down this red line just to get the exact top there. So if once we start to see price closing above that red line, that will complete the unicorn move here, because of course we have an accumulation manipulated down, and of course filling up the accumulator, and not only filling it up but closing above it. That's a very strong move for us to see. Okay, and of course once that happens, the next thing we might be looking for, if you want to jump on it, will be to pick your stop loss using this low there, and of course start aiming for a higher TP at the top. This is for the DXY. All right, but for me, I choose to play a little bit differently today, because I don't want to be chasing every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the market. I took out time yesterday to have a really in-depth back testing, because I needed to have my win rates high, even if it means I'll be taking lesser trades. That's okay for me. And after the whole backtesting analysis and trying to see what works and what doesn't work, one thing that I was able to point out from price was the more time we take before we jump on a trade, the better. Alright, so it's just to find the perfect timing, and of course we work with that. So like I said, you see price is now finally trading above that accumulation. That is good. Once we see price closing above, we can now anticipate a buy. Of course, remember the buy will be more of this kind of move where we have the stop loss will be at that low, and of course we'll now be aiming for the higher grounds, maybe something like that. And in a situation whereby this is the case, I think gold is going to follow suit. It's already doing that gradually. Let me see what Euro USD is doing. Same thing around Euro USD gradually. British pound already is flying down. Aussie dollar is already trampling down to on its side. Okay, I think of all these guys, I think I like what I see here on the Aussie dollar. But let's see what the XY says. Should I jump on this? I don't know. I like the expansion that is coming in there, but let me look at daily time frame just to have an idea of where the pressure is. Ooh. Well, I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, I'm not going to jump on it. Just looking at daily time frame, it's not worth the risk for me. So I'm going to chill. but like I pointed out, this is the ideal kind of move to expect here on DXY, but I'm not going to take it because I just don't like the way the daily time frame was looking. It was looking way bearish. And if you pay close attention on the daily time frame, you will see that we are currently trading around a very nice gap. If I should pull it up, this is the gap right there. This is from the daily time frame. Okay, and what do you see? You see that currently we are trading inside that gap. So for me, it will be a silly move in my own opinion. Mind you, I might be totally wrong on that though. So let's get back to the 5-minute time frame one more time. All right, so we have a complete unicorn move here where price has an accumulation, goes down, comes back up, closes above. You can see the closure above that guy there. So this is the point where people will now be, going for the buys and for the buys on DXY. But since we are not trading DXY directly, of course, people will now be looking for sells here on EURUSD, sells here on British Pound, and of course, sells here on Aussie Dollar. But like I said before, I'm not taking it, and the reason why is because there are two conflicting guys right about there. All right, the first guy on the conflict is, I pointed out, a very nice wonderful Q1 of the day, which obviously squeezed against the previous quarter, and I assume that to be an accumulation. I assume whatever is going here to be a manipulation. Of course, I have a DBS trend line that I'm using to track that trend. And of course, once we start seeing price breaking that trend line, our final confirmation will be for price to go below the 100 EMA. And once I see that, of course, I'll be going for a sell here on DXY, which will directly equate to a buy here on EURUSD and of course British Pound and other major Forex pairs. Okay, but if we are taking our context from the internal quarters, all right, so the internal quarter is pointing for an upward move here on DXY, whereas the external quarter is attracting for a more selling DXY. So now we find ourselves in between those. All right, so we have to make a decision. All right, so this is how we do it. It's not rocket science. If everything was aligned properly, what do I mean by aligned properly? I will show you an example of a proper alignment, okay, which stems from yesterday's price. This is yesterday's price. I just want to give you an example of a proper alignment. All right, by the way, if you're currently joining us live, remember to like the video and follow us for more, because we do updates like this and training like this every day, live streaming section. And of course, for every time we see a good setup, I will pull up my XNS and of course we'll take a live trade in here. So I was trying to show you guys an example of what I call a perfect alignment, and I'll be using that to compare to what we are currently seeing. All right, this is the right here is the current price action, as you guys can see for today. I'll take you guys back to yesterday. All right, so this was price action for yesterday, and for the guys that joined me earlier, you will know whenever I say Q1, Q2, blah blah blah. All right, so this is the Q1 for yesterday. Very nice accumulation. And what makes it an accumulation? Of course, remember what I told you, accumulators are sideways moves in market, or when a quarter is squeezed compared to the previous quarter I consider that as an accumulation. So what do I mean? If you pay attention, this is from the day before yesterday. The Q3 of the day before yesterday was an accumulation. The Q4 of it also was an accumulation, and the Q1 of it also was an accumulation. What makes it an accumulation? If you compare this move here, if you zoom out, you will see all of them looks very small and squeezed. All right, so what happened? All right, immediately the Q2 of the day came about. You see how price manipulated upwards, and in the process of manipulating upwards, you can see that the internal quarters also was aligning itself with the general outside formation. So what do I mean? The Q1 of the Q2 was an accumulation. Of course, we waited for price to do what? To manipulate upwards. You can see it there. You can see how price came all the way up there. Okay, and after that, what did price do? Price started reversing back down to fill up that accumulation, and eventually in doing that, price broke the 100 EMA, which is exactly where we want it to. And of course, we waited for a pullback in before we now entered for the sell setup on DXY. Of course, we don't directly trade DXY. We only use it to get the market condition for dollar, and of course we then go ahead to trade on Euro USD depending on what we see going on here on DXY. You can trade British pound or Aussie dollar, but so far you understand what's going on DXY. That's how it goes. So you see here, price accumulated on internal, manipulated up, closed below the 100 EMA, pull back up, and of course that was what bettered the wholesale setup, and of course that was what we drove all the way back down coming into today. So here on today's price action, what do we see? Same thing we saw. Q4 of yesterday looks squeezed compared to the previous quarter, of course, and also the Q1 of today looks squeezed compared to the Q4. So I consider this Q1 as an accumulator, and of course whatever price is doing above it right now, outside of it and above, I consider it to be a manipulation. But there is a conflict of interest in it. So what's the conflict of interest in it? Unlike how we saw that of yesterday, remember yesterday gave us an internal quarter, and immediately after the internal quarter, instead of price to manipulate downwards, price manipulated upwards, which is exactly what we want. All right, because after the manipulation, of course, price starts to go the opposite of that manipulation, and that's exactly what we want. All right, but here there's a conflict of interest. So what's the conflict of interest? Our Q1 is pointing us for an accumulation, which means our expectation would be for price to manipulate up, then eventually come back down to fill it up. But right now, in the quest of price doing that, price gave us a very nice Q1 of the Q2 of the day, which is okay. That's an accumulator there. But instead of price to manipulate up first before pulling us back down, price went ahead to manipulate downwards first. So that's where the conflict of interest came in. So now we have a formation on the internal structure pointing us for a buy, whereas the external structure is waiting for a sell. So you see where I'm a little bit what's the word? I'm trying to find the word for that. But yeah, that's that about that. So just because of that, I'll be leaving it alone. Oh yes, I'll be leaving it alone. With that said, guys, I hope you guys enjoy what we do here. Make sure you like and follow for more, because we do content like this every day. Every day we do it. Every day.
Dylan, how much money do you have in your bank? 1,069, 76, 599, 1,069, 1,069, 76, 76, 76, 67, and thousands, thousand, and thousand.
All right, so that's the understanding, guys. That's the understanding, guys. Yeah. All right, so we'll be soon closing the curtains. Soon. We'll be closing the curtain. We'll be closing the curtain on today's live streaming section. At least for the London section, we'll be back again on the New York section. Be careful what you wish for. We are on conflict of interest. Oh my god. All right, we are still waiting for the conflict of interest to be cleared. All right, if you know, you know. All right. For the guys that have been joining me from the beginning of this live stream, of course, you know the plan. I've been explaining the plan. I've been portraying the plan. I've been explaining the indicator. If you're not joining us, you're missing out a lot. You are missing out currency correlation. You are missing out quarter theory. You are missing out how to analyze. You are missing out the ideating. You are missing out the brainstorming. you're missing out execution, you're missing out technical analysis. A couple of things have been said so far. And like I said, if you have any question, currency pair, whatever you want us to talk about in the financial market, use the chat section. And of course, remember to follow, like the video, because we are going somewhere with this. Trust me, we are going places with this. We are going places with this. All right, so like I said before, and I'm still saying it again, the reason why we are not going for this buy on DXY that looks so sweet is because the Q1 of the day is conflicting with the internal structure that we are seeing. The internal structure looks sweet, it looks good to go. Trust me, the internal structure looks like something I want to jump on, but the external structure is saying otherwise. And I remember when I pulled up a little bit, I said, hold up, wait a minute. I went to the daily time frame and I saw this gap here, and currently we are actually trading in and around those gaps. So, and the gap is on the upside, which means there is a lot of resistance that might be coming into play in and around those areas. Okay, that's number one. Number two is when we now get to the 5-minute time frame, like I pointed out, you could see one thing's for sure: a conflict of moves are happening in and around there. So we are here waiting. So we are in and around. We are in and around there waiting. And remember I told you guys something. What is it something? I told you guys. I said, and I say it again. Q1 don't accumulate. And the rule of accumulation in technical analysis, oh my God, is, and I say it, after an accumulation, the next thing that happens is a manipulation. What I'm telling you guys is factual. Okay, you can see the forces coming now, Abby. This is the exact reason why I said I'm not going to go with the internal structure. The internal structure might be deceiving, although most times I love when the internal structure is aligned. I think I painted a picture with the previous price action. I painted a very nice picture with the previous day price action. I showed you guys where we saw the Q1 accumulate, we saw the internal structure accumulate, and there was a total alignment on the direction. All right, just for the guys that weren't here when I showed that example, let's go to the previous day. Here is the previous day. This is on DXY. All right, the blue box there is the Q1. What do you see here? The internal structure gave an accumulation, and of course it manipulated up. If you want to go down, you wait for the manipulation to go up. If you want to go up, you wait for the manipulation to go down. So in a situation whereby the manipulation was upward, that was a perfect, nothing is perfect in the market, but that was a very good high probable setup because of the fact that market went up first before now going back down. Now I'm bringing that same thing to you guys here. Oh yes. Remember I said it before price started doing all this jiggy jiggy. I said something. I said the Q1 gave us a nice accumulation, which is fine. But when the internal structure started pointing us on the upward move, that's when I said, nope, we have to hold up here. And of course, I think I have to thank God. I have to thank Jesus Christ for me holding up on that, because you can see now price pretty much has started violating that trend. Remember, I pulled up this trend line before price started doing all this. All right, so let's see if this trend line is going to hold it. And of course, if it holds, then that means there is still possibility of price going up. And of course, we can also dubiously speculate that there is an order block here that price might use to go up. But mind you, I'm not interested in going up on DXY. Even if price decides to go up, I'll count it as a missed entry and I'll move on with my life. And I already gave you guys the reasons why I am not participating. And the main reason why I'm not participating is because there is a conflict of, I'll use the word movement, or conflict of bias. So what do I mean by conflict of bias? Q1 of the day, which is the external structure, the blue line there, is expecting to be filled up. There is an expectation that it needs to be filled up according to, in quote, technical analysis. But the internal structure now came about and started giving us a wrong, not a wrong narrative rather, but a different narrative. So what's the narrative the internal structure is painting? The internal structure is painting a picture saying, hey, Mr. Man, I know Q1 wants me to go down, but here is what I have for you guys. Immediately after the accumulation that occurred in the internal structure of the Q2 of the day, price traded down first, which is the manipulation down, and immediately after that, price reversed back up and gave us a complete unicorn setup. What do I mean by a unicorn setup or a Judas swing? When there is an accumulation in the market, this is an accumulation, and we see something like this. This is an accumulation, okay? I'm painting a picture now. Price goes down first. This is the manipulation. After price goes down and comes back up and closes above that accumulation, that's what we call a Judas swing. All right, it's a reversal setup, or you call it a unicorn setup. It's actually a reversal setup, you see. So whenever you see this kind of move where after an accumulation price manipulates down, the next thing is price starts to go back above it, that's a unicorn setup. And if you look at this picture I painted here for you guys, if you overlay it into what we see happening in there, you will see that we had a very good unicorn setup here, but you can see how it's being violated. And I'm not surprised it's now being violated, and the reason is very simple. The reason is extremely very simple. I told you guys, Q1 is demanding, fill me up, fill me up. You know, that was a song the Q1 was singing. Whereas the internal structure of Q2 is saying, oh my man, I don't care about you, bro. You see where the problem is. So that's why I said there is a conflict there. And due to that fact, that was the reason why I left it alone. I totally left it alone. Okay? So what do we expect now? Now we see price reversed down, is going now against the unicorn setup. It kind of increases my confidence a little bit. So my next line of action here will be to see price successfully close below the 100 EMA, and not only close below it, I need price to confirm that closure. So if price goes below it and comes back up, that's not a closure for me. If price goes below it and immediately trades back above it again, that's not a closure for me. But if price closes below it and confirms it, of course, that's where I'll pull up my guns and go to war, because it means we have an aligned setup. But for now, we'll take a chill pill. Nothing to be excited about. Nothing to, feel like, oh yeah, we've arrived, because we've not. Let's just see what price is going to do, and whatever price does, we'll follow suit. There's no need to force our opinion on price. We should never find ourselves doing that, and we will never do that. All right, we will never do that. We will never do that. All right, so once we get that confirmation, the next line of action will be for us to looks like Euro USD is already doing its thing. I think I might be interested to see what Euro USD is going to do here, but I think I love what I see here on Euro USD. But largely, I like to take my confirmation on DXY. I love taking my confirmations on DXY because that's the main guy. That's the main guy. But already here on Euro USD, it looks like Euro USD is saying I'm ready to go. Like, I'm so ready to go. But let's take a little bit more chill pill, because of course, like I said, our main guy is the DXY, and from what I see here, you can see that DXY did not close below the 100 EMA. It only came down, traded a little bit below it, but closed back above. All right, in trading, every little detail counts. Okay, you can see it right there, how price traded back above. So it's extremely important that DXY closes below the 100 EMA. And let's see what that's going to be for these guys here. Announcing March, Euro USD. Euro USD is actually a little bit in front, which is okay, that's fine. British pound is actually catching up, okay, that's fine. Aussie dollar a little bit not aligned with what I want. HK50 not exactly what I want. UX oil, well, I don't know, not totally aligned to what I want also. Silver doing its own thing. Canadian dollar Swiss franc is actually looking like it wants to do what I want, but not my go-to market. Not my go-to market. Not my go-to market. Not my go-to market. Gold. I think gold is another thing I'll look out for. I'll remove this drawing. I'll just keep an eye on gold. Let me pull it up. I need it to come up. Up. Stay here. Let's scan through. Not what I'm looking for. USDC CS Swiss francs is looking very delicious. But already I think I'll be going for a Euro USD compared to it. Who is this guy here? This is UX30. UX30, very nice sell-off here initially. Accumulation. UX30 is looking very interesting. It depends on what UX 500 is doing. No, not my go-to market. You guys should leave me alone. I don't need to take any loss this morning. Okay. So we are still waiting for DXY to close below the 100 EMA. It's extremely important it does that. And of course, Euro USD on the other hand looks like it's good to go. To be honest, I don't know if I should trade Euro USD without a confirmation here on DXY. I really want to see a confirmation on DXY, if I'm being quite honest with you guys. All right, Euro USD seems like it's giving signs and symptoms like I want to go. So let's just jump on it. Let's just jump on it. Let's just jump on it. I'll just give it a 7. Hold the $7. Let's see what you can make out of it. On the other hand, it's extremely important that DXY really gives us the confirmation. All right. So remember what I told you. Every little detail counts. Okay. If you pay close attention to this move here, all right, you can see there was it was a small one, but yeah, it did close below the 100 EMA. So if this guy here confirms it, that would be good. But if it doesn't confirm it, then whatever we did here on Euro USD is a waste of time. But for me, I think I'm okay with what I see on Euro USD, so I'm going to hold it. And of course, I'll pull up my my position sizer, and of course I'll pull up my 2-to-1. My 2-to-1 will keep me around here. Alright, and of course I'm going to copy the price and I'm going to put it right in here. Okay, then I'm going to add an alert here. Once we start seeing price trading in around there, we'll either move stop loss to break even, or we might start closing up some positions on that. But that's that about that, my guys, my people. Let's see how this would pan out. Let's see how it's gonna play out. All right, remember the confirmation is not yet in on DXY. It's extremely important we don't forget that. Extremely important that we don't forget that. So if price starts to reject aggressively again, then we might as well just call it a day. But let's see. We have less than 2 minutes to go. We are currently on the 5-minute time frame. We are waiting for a confirmation closure on DXY for a sell move, considering the fact that we picked our hypothesis or our context from the Q1 of the day. There's a lot of rejection coming in around that, and they are almost about to trade back above the 100 EMA. If that's the case, then I would not be interested again. Remember, it's extremely important that we get the confirmation on DXY. If the confirmation is not going to come on DXY, I'm not interested, trust me. And of course, the confirmation is failing on DXY. Although, like I said, here on EURUSD is pointing out like, yeah, I'm confirmed, I'm good to go. But remember, I told you guys that it's extremely important. DXY is the deciding factor, and if I'm not seeing the confirmation on DXY, then I'm not interested. And from the look of things, it seems we are not going to get that confirmation. Yeah, from the look of things, it seems like that. And I'm going to respect the market. I'm not going to force it. Okay, we are trading below the 100 EMA again. We need it to close below it. Don't close above. No matter what you do, no matter how small it is, just manage to close below. Okay, it closed below. That's good. That's all we want. That's all I want. So we are in full day. Based on my setup, we are now fully in it. Let's see how this is going to pan out. How is it going to pan out? What's he going to do? What's he going to do? I like what I see here on British pound though, but I think I'll leave it on Euro USD. But British pound is looking very sharp. I just hope that Euro USD will maintain the whole momentum it started with. It would be nice to see it maintain that momentum. It would be very, very nice to see that. Alright guys, that's it. So what's the next line of action to whom it may concern if you took this trade with me? The next line of action is very simple. We wait for price to fill up the accumulation we pointed out. Alright, so once we see price fill it up, then we can decide to either break even, take profit, take partial profit, or do whatever. Another thing I want to point out is this. There's an order block there, just in case if we start seeing price trading back up. There are a couple of fair value gaps in there, alright? But most especially this order block here. It's extremely important. With that said, guys, all right, we are going to close the curtain soon. What a day. We're about to close the curtain soon. I like what I see. Let's see if yeah, I think I like what I see here. I think I would add one more entry or for an order block. Let me see the other block actually. Okay, that's the other block there. We have another gap there. Alright, I'll just add one more pending order, and I think that's the only thing I need to do now. Just in case if price comes all the way back down there, I would want to have another entry in around there. Okay, I'll just keep it there. No, let me get the stop loss first for this guy, because I'll be using the same stop loss. Okay, then I'll go for a pending buy. I'll place it a little bit around here. No, let me just keep it here, because there's a fair value gap there. If you look at, there's a very big fair value gap there. There is one here, but I think I'll go for this one here. And of course, I'll add a stop loss around there. And I think I want to go for the other block. I don't know if he's going to touch it. Let's just keep it there. Alright, and of course the TP still remains the same. And that's it. So I added one more pending order close to the other block, but I'm using this last fair value gap for that, and that's it. So at this point, ladies and mental gen, I think I've tried for this morning London section. I'll be coming back again on the New York section, where we will take our time, observe the market, and see if we can get a hold of any interesting setup that might be coming up in and around those times. In the meantime, I want to thank for each and every one of you that joined live, and for those that loved and liked the video, and those that followed, welcome on board. Of course, my name is FX Adventure, and you guys are welcome to my adventure. I hope I'll see you guys next time again today in the New York section. See y'all for now. Bye bye.